Welcome to Exploring D-Rock. Let's go. Good morning. Welcome back. Getting off everybody's favorite exit here, Slade exit. Today we're going to be making a right turn, heading south for a change here. Gonna go somewhere we've been on video before. Gonna start at Whittleton Campground, head out towards Whittleton Arch. Should be plenty of wildflowers. Wildflower photography, depending on time. Might do a little arch hunting, or may even stop by Henson's cave arch. Alright, reached the trailhead here. It is right off the back of the campground for parking. Follow around the Whittleton Campground parking, or to Whittleton Campground. Whenever you pull into the campground, there's parking on the right in a little gravel area. Then you have to walk back past these campsites here, back to where the U-turn is. That's where you'll find the trailhead. If you're into wildflowers, this is one of the best trails in the gorge for wildflowers, from springtime all the way up into summer. As you can see along the trail here, lots of blue and purple. That's wild blue phlox. They're in abundance right through here. Since the last time I was here on video, the trail crews replaced the first little bridge here that crosses Whittleton Branch. Looks really nice. Once you get to this crossing, you got some really cool trees over here on this rock. Pretty much all the roots exposed. A couple big hemlocks. As you come across the bridge, if you look up the hill, see a nice big patch of white trillium. There's another big patch on up here closer to the trail. Probably stop and photograph them. Oh, there's another little patch over here. Plenty of wildflowers today. Kind of feel like once I get the camera out today, there ain't gonna be no need in putting it up, because there are lots of good looking flowers out through here. Gonna be a busy photography day probably. I think we might have our first specimens here. Two really nice looking trillium. I think we're gonna get the camera out. Got a couple shots of those white trillium I was pretty happy with. And if they turned out any good, I'm sure you've already seen them by now. Coming across the second branch crossing here. Sunny out today. Don't think there's supposed to be much cloud cover, so I don't know if I get to do much photography at the arch or not, since it's really dark there. It may be too contrasty. We'll see. We got a ways to go though. A lot of flowers between here and there. I guess I should have mentioned that the Whittleton trail through here is part of the Shelter We Trace. So That's where the Sheltowee Trace cuts over from Natural Bridge over to the Gorge. Also mentioned the sun being out. I think it's about time to lose a layer already. Gonna go out on a limb, say there's not been anybody off the Whittleton Trail today. I've already ate about 10 or 12 spider webs. The nice thing about being the first one in, usually you can get some photography done without being interrupted or getting anybody else in your photos. The only bad part is you eat all those spider webs. Another one of my springtime favorites, fiddlehead ferns. Looks like they may be waiting on the sun to get on up to kind of open up a little bit, but here's some bellwort. Got a nice little yellow flower on them. Good chance to get a look at some wild ginger here. Here's the leaves, kind of got a heart shape. Got the little bloom here at the base. I mentioned that the Whittleton Trail was part of the Sheltowee Trace. Here's one of the turtles. Here's a look at a little cluster of ruin enemy. And over here, here's a look at wild geranium. Here's a look at Solomon seal. You might see those little bell-shaped flowers hanging down there. Ain't wanting to focus on them, they're so small. I was starting to think we wasn't going to find any irises in bloom, but here's a couple starting. And then here we have a nice bloom. This one might get its photograph taken. Roughly 1.25 miles in the Whittleton Trail. You come to this trail junction. You got a sign here. Tells you Whittleton Campground. It says 3/4 mile. It's well over a mile, but anyway, out to Highway 15 and Tunnel Ridge Road, 1 mile. And there at the bottom tells us this is the Sheltowee Trace Trail. Anyway, ain't going that way today. Gonna cut down here, follow the Whittleton Arch Trail out to Whittleton Arch. I guess it's possibly a little early for some of them, but I knew there was going to be some of these because I saw some off of the campground whenever I was walking through there. Some showy orchis. That's one of the flowers I'm wanting to photograph today. These here's right in some bright sun, so I may pass on these and hopefully find someone up the trail here. As you come down the hill here, you see the sign says Whittleton Arch. Trail continues across this little footbridge on up the hill to the arch. There is a user trail, follows along the dry creek bed right through here. The water resurfaces roughly 1/4 mile back down the trail here. If you notice, it's dry back up this way too. And it's roughly 1/4 mile up that way. So there's about a half mile stretch of Whittleton branch right through here where the water goes underground. As I was coming down the hill here, spotted this jack in the pulpit. It's a little early for jack in the pulpit. It's a pretty nice one here. Not looking too promising on the showy orchis so far, but here's a couple nice long spur violets. So far, this is what I'm finding of the showy orchis. A little early, they haven't bloomed yet. Guess I'll just have to revisit in a week or so. Got hunting for wildflowers coming up the trail there. Took way longer than it should have to get up here. It's only roughly a quarter mile from the trail junction up here to the arch. Here's Whittleton Arch. And as you was hearing waterfall, if you visit this arch after a heavy rain, there is a little bit of a waterfall that comes over the front of the arch. Blue sky day, as you can see. I'm gonna make photographing Whittleton Arch super contrasty. No doubt in my mind at some point this was a cave that has collapsed there in the back to form this arch. This trail is pretty highly trafficked, so I'm gonna get this macro lens off here and get the wide angle out real quick and try to photograph this thing. Here's looking back down from up inside the arch and looking up as well. Kind of like this angle to photograph, but as you can see, the sun is blazing in super hot there. Not sure if I'll be able to come away with a decent image there or not. Might give it a try since I'm already up here anyway. While I'm up here, I will mention, when you come to arches and things, do better than this, folks. One last look from inside Whittleton Arch. One last look at Whittleton Arch. Well, I'd looked at LiDAR and found an area of interest that I thought I might check out while I was out today. Maybe find a new arch. Well, put the coordinates into the area I thought there could be an arch at, and well, sure enough there was. On my other app, wound up having coordinates for Trick or Treat Arch there. So, I may go check that out one day, but I was wanting to do a little arch hunting today and not finding, so I may have to hit a little stretch of cliff line down the trail here I saw while I was looking for wildflowers that looked kind of interesting. As long as I don't spend too much time off trail, should have a chance to run up and check out Henson's cave arch as well. Here's a look at some star chickweed. No arch, but did find some pretty nice geology here. Also, if you look back in this crack here, that is a tree root. It's pretty crazy how some of these roots just keep on going. Well, no arches so far, but this was a pretty cool find. A few of these rocks in here have some amazing color. I don't think this is deep enough to qualify as a cave. I believe it's just a really big rock shelter. Here's another one of those rocks with some amazing color. I'll look into the rock shelter from the opening. Really cool spot. Get a really good look at that big rock right in the middle of the earth. A nice color too. Getting back down to Whittleton branch here. I'm gonna go ahead and probably just make good time back down to the campground. Unless I find something interesting between here and there. I'll see you at the campground, where we'll probably go up and check out Henson's cave arch. Here's a good look at some halberd-leaved violets. I mentioned earlier that the Whittleton branch came back out from underground about a quarter mile down the trail. Here where all these boulders and deadfall is where it comes back out at. And it's where the trail first initially cuts uphill. Here's a good look at some foam flower. The sun's popped out and really woke up the geraniums. Not really feeling climbing all the way up there to it, but kind of looks like a limestone arch over there. Some people call these sedums, but it is in the family, but this is stone crop. Well, I finally found what I was looking for. Here's a showy orchid in bloom. Another look at the new bridge. Really done a nice job on this one. For Henson's cave arch, what you want to do is come over to the back of the campground area here, past the restrooms. You'll see the signage over here, and the trail starts right past it over here in the woods. Guess I should have mentioned already, an out and back from the parking area at the campground out to Whittleton Arch and back is right at 3 miles. I've only been up to Henson's Cave Arch once before, thinking that this trail's pretty much all uphill for the most part, and it circles, it'll come up here and then kind of circle back around towards the road and then up a drainage to the arch. The signage says 3/10 of a mile. That sounds pretty close. It's not a real long hike, it's just uphill on the way in. Not 100% positive, but I'm thinking that this could be a couple of early yellow lady sleepers. As I mentioned, the trail comes around above the road. See the road down there. It's a well-beaten path around through here. Also marked with these black trail markers. Don't show up the best, but at least it is marked. Some people require a marked trail to get to places, but those are there in case you need them. As you come around, the trail will come up through a break in the cliff line. Another trail marker. And there's already somebody up here, but right up here's the arch. Coming up on the arch now. I'll agree with the signage that says 3/10 of a mile. Pretty much right at 3/10. As you can see in here, there is a small waterfall here. Goes down into the arch. I'm sure that probably helped in forming the arch. A little set of stairs goes down inside here. Go down here and have a look up through the arch. Look up through the arch opening. Step over here. Have a look back towards the little waterfall. Got the stairs coming in on the side there. Nice cool area down here, especially with the water coming in. Be a really good spot to cool off for the summertime. Look back up the stairs. As you can see, super bright and contrasty. I ain't even gonna bother getting the camera out. I'll just settle for some cell phone pics on this one. Really neat spot though, definitely worth checking out. An out and back up here would be 6/10 of a mile. One last look at Henson's Cave Arch. If you look over here behind me, you see the opening for Henson's Cave Arch. There's the stairs down behind me. I feel like it's probably 10 to 15 degrees cooler down there. It's only about 75 out today, so that'd be an awesome spot of the summertime to really come cool off. I guess I'll go ahead and sign the video off here. Hope you enjoyed today's adventure. Got to see a new spot I've only been once before. Henson's Cave Arch. Definitely check it out. I hope you enjoyed today's adventure while we was out. If you would, give me that thumbs up. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing. Hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. What was I thinking? I almost forgot the most important part. Munch it like a banana.